The story is always the same, last minute. I had volunteered to drive one of the emergency response vehicles in Irv, and then on Saturday about 2:30 or 3 o'clock they called and said, can you go in 2 hours? And oh, by the way, you'll have to drive to Dayton and pick up the partner that's going with you, Lynn.
I got to the chapter office, and within 2 hours Cliff was there with the truck. So basically, you know, you have a very short time to go.
We didn't always agree, but we always resolved those disagreements without hitting each other or anything like that.
Even though the storm had hit the coast, inland was affected power-wise. So there were no lights, no street lights, no traffic lights, wires down. So I even had a difficult time even getting to the headquarters in the hotel where we were going to start our operation.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe 13 states were affected. Millions of people, millions of power outages, and I believe, I know that the total damage in New York was about $41 billion, and in New Jersey, I think $36 billion.
Wednesday night, the Baptist Kitchen wasn't even there. By Thursday morning, they were cooking food for 10,000 people, 10,000 meals. It's amazing how this all works, and it does work.
I work at the client shelters, which are usually high schools or churches or hospitals. We take care of the clients. We provide food, mental health, and any moral support that they might need. I started out in Manhattan at a homeless shelter, and then I went to Staten Island, and I was there most of my time. I was working at a hospital, Bailey Seton Hospital on Staten Island. And there we had over 100 clients and over 30 animals.
This particular assignment, I was going out as a supervisor for the mental health role. We create conversations, ask them initially, you know, looks like you're having a rough time, you know, they're cleaning out their basement, they're cleaning out their house, their apartment. And we just start with a conversation. And very quickly, many times, the floodgates open. People start sharing with us, you know, what they've gone through, what they're going through. And I believe some of it is because they keep up the image for family and friends, but they don't know us. And it's a lot easier for them to finally maybe let go and release some of this. And I think that's a lot of what we're trying to do, is get people just to share the anxiety, the tough part of what's going on, beyond just the loss of their material possessions.
The hardest part for me was we were handing out these meals. Cliff and the other people were working very hard in the truck, making them as fast as they could. And there was a gentleman on the other side of the street. There were 2 lanes of traffic between us and him, and he was older. He kind of reminded me of my dad. And he was rolling up the street in one of those little motorized wheelchairs. And he looked over at me with this haunted look that I will never forget. So I got a meal and 2 bottles of water, and I took them across the street to him. And he said, thank you, and God bless you. And as he rolled up the street, he started crying, and the tears were rolling down his face. And I just about lost it right then, but I held it together because we were still there for another 2 hours. And there were, you know, he wasn't the only one, but he was the one that affected me the most.
At the shelter in Staten Island, I met a young gentleman, Mexican national, who had lost his job and his home due to flooding. We started talking, we kind of formed a little bond, and then he eventually started helping my team do our daily activities. And then eventually he became a part of our team, and he was up all night with us and doing just as much work as we did. And it was just amazing to see someone who had been affected by something so devastating take their time to help others when he was in the same position as them.
We received more God bless yous. Thank you for being here. What would we do without the Red Cross? That's the payoff for the whole thing.